Hello guys and gals, in today's video I'm gonna show you how to 3D model this and even how to render in this file in a Sketchfab and Keyshot and how to create this 360 degrees view of it. So let's start with it. We're gonna start in Maya. We are going to create this tube. I already have like predefined some settings for this too, but if not you can create it. Like all that really matters is the proportions, like the aspect relation. Since I would like this ring to be what is called in jewelry comfort fit, first first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to create this internal curvature of the ring so it fits comfortably in the finger. That's what is called comfort fit. Once I have the overall shape, I'm going to create a cube, and with this cube what I'm gonna do is I'm going to model the shape that I want to be like the cutting part. I'm going to create like I'm going to separate a curve from the ring, and I'm gonna use that curve to clone along the surface of the ring. I'm showing you that I already created like a script and I save it like a custom tool in the menu, but you can easily access this menu. Now I'm using the mesh. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to use the geometry that we created with the cube, and we're going to replicate it or instance it along the surface. This process of creating instances is very useful for replicating a pattern along a surface. In Maya, we add the curve to the tool so it can recognize us. We can then go and play with the settings here in the curve, adjust the steps, adjust the number of points depending on how much we want that pattern to repeat on the surface. Then we show this cube that is the source where all the instances are pulling the geometry information from, and we're gonna start by adding some resolution here to the mesh, and then we're gonna start modeling, trying to get a nice geometry here. This technique is very good also if you want to create like wheels and this type of geometry where you have like a pattern that repeats along a surface. Here what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get that twisted effect, like it's like a rope. Don't worry if you notice that there is not enough resolution, because later what we're gonna do is we're modeling for the 3 key, which is a technique where you basically press the number 3 and you see the mesh, you see it like smooth. And then all you gotta do is, as you will see, you go to mesh and smooth, and then you end up with that, the smooth mesh. It takes a little bit of time figuring out where was the top and what's the bottom of your mesh. Okay, I'm gonna smooth the instances too, so we can see the smooth effect. Okay, we're gonna bevel this, and we're gonna create like an edge, like a sharp edge right there. Okay, let's smooth this too, so we can see the actual shape once we smooth it with the smooth. Okay, let's do some modifications just to try to get that curvature there, like that. Probably not past that comfort fit. Yeah, something like that. Something like that is what I want. Yeah. Okay, we can continue. We can continue doing like micro adjustments, and until we get like that interesting shape that we're trying to get. Once we have the shape that we're looking for, what we can do is add even more instances to the mesh. Sorry, then we delete history on that mesh, and it becomes a geometry that we can use as any geometry in 3D space. So what we're gonna to do is we're going to freeze transformation and delete history on both meshes. Then we're going to do a Boolean operation there. Then we're gonna smooth the surface too, and this is the result. We end up with a very interesting looking ring. Now I'm just going to delete all the tools I used, and this is the final result. Now there's a couple of ways in which we can like render this. First of all, let's add the brand. Let's all the text. This text there is going to be like embossed. It could be either the brand or the carrot gold, or the how much silver it has. It's called the hallmark. But I like to put the brand in this process. Rotate it 90 degrees just to make it like parallel to that interior of the ring. We scale it. We continue to adjust it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add like the deformer, the lattice deformer. In this case, we use very low resolution in this deformer. It's a 3 by 3, just to get that curvature there. Then we can place it on the surface and position it. We're gonna do another boolean operation here. Just make sure it's deep enough, because if not, when you 3D print it, uh, depending on the resolution of the printer that you're using, it's not going to pick up that detail. So probably you wanna do a little bit deeper, just in case. And you smooth everything. Delete history. Always before you do booleans, delete history and freeze transformation, because boolean is very complex operations, like mathematically, and it basically reduces the chance of having errors and stuff. Sometimes you also need, if you keep getting the same issues, sometimes you just need to move the geometry a little bit. Like in this case, is because the B is a little bit over the surface of the interior of the ring. Just move it a little bit, freeze transformation, delete history, and do the boolean, and you should be good to go. Okay, just delete history, and let's export this and try a couple of ways to render this. Okay, first of all, as usual, we're going to use Keyshot, because it's very fast way to get in very nice results. So is that always my first choice, depending on what I want to do, because the other method that we're gonna see later is more useful if you were trying to create like 3D, like interactive 3D renders, and that can be seen online, where basically your client can play with the 3D model on your website, on your online store. And probably I'm gonna be doing like a couple tutorials of that. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button and like the video, leave a comment below. It takes time for me to stop what I'm doing and create these videos for you. So if you appreciate it, please like and subscribe. That way it doesn't cost you anything, and is a good way to helping the channel to grow up. So this is the basic render that I always use. And then from here you can keep playing with the settings a little bit, blurring that HDRI, you know, taking the saturation to zero so you don't contaminate that material. It looks more professional. Okay, now that we have created this render in Keyshot, let's take a look at the next method to do it, which is a Sketchfab. And in a Sketchfab, basically we're going to be using the PVR workflow with a physically based material. I mean, physically based render, which use materials with physical properties to give you more accurate, you know, render where light, shadow, geometry, and the property of the materials itself is more, accurate. Therefore, give you more realistic look. So first thing we do is we upload this file. um, it's better to use an FBX, so that's why I export it as FBX always, because Keyshot does better with FBX files when you have been doing Boolean operations. If you export an OBJ, sometimes you know it cannot like read that mesh properly, and you start getting errors. So I always try to use FBX. It's a more powerful format than OBJ. Um, Here in the Sketchfab editor, first thing you have to do is go to materials, and you're going to do, since this is a gold ring, you're going to adjust metalness to 1, base color. Ideally, you would pull these numbers, the numbers of the base color, directly from a chart where you get the right number for goal, which is not like whatever number you want. This is not a specific number, but I'm going to use like I'm gonna eyeball it for now. Then you want to make sure that your roughness is not all the way up, because no matter what object, what material you have in real life, everything has some roughness to it. Then you go to the post-processing, and you're going to add like scene space reflections. We're going to use some uh, ambient occlusion. We're going to use some bloom. It's just to make it look more appealing. And yeah, you can always keep playing with the properties of the materials until you get what you're looking for. In this case, I didn't notice that when I was exporting like the letters, the Bradley vibe had its own material, so that's the reason why I'm adjusting two materials. But usually, if you make sure you apply one material to the whole model before you do this step, you'll be fine. Then we save settings, we save the view, and we can exit this. um, Basically what we're doing here, we are preparing this 3D file, right? And we added materials in Sketchfab, which is something that you normally would use Substance Painter for it, or even Maya. Here, this is the lab.sketchfab.com. This option allows you to load on a scene, just a resolution, and render like a 360 video like the one that you're seeing right now. Great, well, that's all for today, my friends. I really hope you liked this video and you find some value on it. If you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe. That is gonna help the channel to grow. So until the next time I see you, please be safe. Thank you for watching.